We are diving into everything you need to know about short-term rentals in Toronto. We'll cover the requirements, limits, and some additional tips to help you navigate the process smoothly. Let's get started. These rules are designed to ensure that short-term rentals are managed responsibly and the local housing markets are not negatively impacted. Let's break down the key requirements. Requirement 1. This is the most crucial requirement. Your property must be your primary residence. It has to be the address listed on your driver's license or other official identification. To prove this, you'll have to submit a copy of your driver's license showing the property address. This rule ensures that the person renting out the property actually lives there, making it a true sharing situation rather than just another rental business. If you're thinking about listing a second property or a vacation home, unfortunately, that wouldn't work under these regulations. The city wants to make sure that short-term rentals are operated by residents, not by absentee landlords. Now, you might be wondering why this rule is so important. It's all about maintaining the residential character of neighborhoods. The city wants to prevent properties from being converted into de facto hotel, which can disrupt local communities and reduce the availability for long-term rental housing. Additionally, this regulation helps ensure that those renting out their properties are familiar with their neighborhoods and are more likely to be responsive to any issues that arise with their guests. Requirement 2. The next important rule is that you can only rent out your property on a short-term basis. Specifically, this means that you can only host guests for stays less than 28 nights at a time. So if you're thinking about offering long-term stays through Airbnb, you'll have to rethink that strategy. Each rental period needs to be under 28 nights. This rule is designed to ensure that the property remains a short-term accommodation option for travelers rather than becoming a long-term rental option. Let's talk about why this rule is in place. The aim is to balance providing short-term accommodations for visitors with maintaining the availability of long-term rental housing for local residents. It's also about managing the impact on neighborhoods and ensuring that residential properties aren't used in a way that disrupts the community. Requirement 3. There's also a cap on how many days you can rent your property each year. You're allowed to rent it out for a maximum of 180 days per year. This means you can only rent out your property for half of the year. The remaining 185 days, you'll need to decide what you want to do with the property. What are your options during those months? Well, you've got a couple of choices. You can rent it out on an executive basis. This means that you can lease your property for longer periods. It has to be a formal lease agreement, not a short-term rental. Executive rentals are often sought by business professionals or corporate clients who need accommodation for several months. This option might be ideal if you have a high-demand area and want to attract business travelers or temporary employees. Executive rentals can provide a steady income while keeping you compliant with local regulations. Another choice is you can move into it yourself. If you're not renting it out, you can simply use the property as your own residence. This allows you to enjoy your home and avoid the hassle of managing rental bookings during a non-rental period. Moving into the property yourself might be the easiest option if you prefer not to deal with the complexities of long-term leasing. Plus, it ensures that you're directly involved in maintaining the property and addressing any issues that might arise. Now that you're familiar with the regulations, here are some additional tips that can help you make the most of your Airbnb experience. Stay informed. Regulations can change, so it's important to stay up to date with any new rules and amendments. Check the City of Toronto's website or local news for the latest updates. Prepare your property. Ensure your property is well prepared for guests. This includes cleanliness, safety features, and providing essential amenities. Positive reviews will help you attract more guests. Communicate clearly. Provide clear and detailed instructions for your guests. This includes check-in and check-out procedures, local attractions, and any house rules you may have. Get insurance. Consider getting insurance that covers short-term rentals. This can protect you against potential damages or liabilities. Understand your taxes. Be aware of any tax implications related to renting out your property. Consult with a tax professional to ensure you're handling your finances correctly. To sum it all up, here's a quick recap of what you need to do to legally Airbnb your property in Toronto. Ensure it's your primary residence with your driver's license reflecting the address. Rent it out on a short-term basis only, with stays under 28 nights. Adhere to the 180-day annual rental limit and use it for other purposes or lease it formally for the remaining days. Before you start listing your property, make sure you review any additional requirements or updates to the regulations, and consider consulting with a legal or property management expert. And that's it for today's video. I hope this guide helps you navigate the regulations of short-term rentals in Toronto and sets you up for success. If you have any more questions or need further clarification, please drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll always be updated on the latest tips and regulations. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next video.